Mike here from Project Rise, and today we're going to be talking about the #1 mistake I see when people are first learning their pull-up. Now, I've helped quite a few people get their very first pull-up. It's one of my passions. I absolutely love seeing beginners go from ground zero, not even being able to hold on to the bar, and then doing their first full pull-up. But there is one common mistake that I see a lot of people make, and it has to do with the rubber band. Before we get into that, a couple of quick announcements. First things first, June 1st at Project Rise, we're having our Calisthenics Classic competition. We ran this competition last year. It is an annual competition, and it's geared towards beginners for the 5 basic movements of calisthenics. So we have our pull-ups, our push-ups, our dips, our body weight squat, and we always throw a core element in there. This year, we're doing bar knee raises, and we're actually also doing an elite category. So if you're not a beginner to calisthenics and you're in the Toronto area and you still want to compete, and let's say you're more advanced on your journey, and you have a strict muscle up, you can sign up for the elite category. The link for competition is in the bio below, so make sure you guys check that out. All right, now on to the video. Alright, the biggest problem I see is people being too reliant on this resistance band. So what I mean by that is they train their pull-up and all they use is this guy here. What we actually have to do first is tire out our body with body weight movement, or even see if it's possible, if we have any strength with our body weight before we start adding something like this. This is to assist you with the full range of motion. So going from the bottom of your pull-up all the way to the top, feeling out that movement pattern and starting to connect the dots a little bit. But if you have no idea what strength you're starting off with, this here is almost going to be a lie. It's like lying to yourself. Like, I could take someone right now that has literally no back strength whatsoever, and they could put themselves in the band and feel like they can do a pull-up. Again, that's a good thing because you feel the full range of motion, but it's also not accurate in terms of full progression. So one of the best things you can do if you're first starting your pull-up journey is to see how good your negative is, right? So remember, negative motions build positive outcomes, right? So here, we're gonna talk about the negative pull-up. So instead of getting in the band, and again, you can use a band, but before you do that, what we wanna do is get to the bar, okay? You can use a box to get up if you need to. You're gonna glue your chest to the bar, squeeze your shoulder blades together, pinch here, let that foot go. See how long you can hold it at the top, and then slowly come on down, okay? So that's the first thing we need to see if we can do. If the negative looks like this, so we go up here, whoop, and then we fall right off the bar, there's literally no connectivity whatsoever, then we know that, okay, no back strength exists quite yet. So what we have to do is a couple of other exercises to build that back strength before we can start doing our negative. As I said before, guys, I've helped quite a few of my own clients go from no pull-ups to having multiple pull-ups. Some of these people came from other trainers, been working with them for years, or they've been working on their own. And one of the reasons why they couldn't achieve the pull-up is because they didn't have the proper prerequisites. Again, a lot of the times using only the resistance band or the assisted pull-up machine at the gym is their only means of achieving a pull-up. So first things first, get that negative and see where it's at. Okay, if your negative is nice and slow and you have some prerequisite back strength, that's awesome. That means you can build from the top down. The next phase is what happens when your negative gets fast, right? So you're up on top of the bar. So your first one is, it's nice and slow, right? And then now we're getting a little bit tired and you can't quite hold it anymore, right? So what happens after that? Or you try a negative and you literally have no back strength whatsoever. So your next thing are a couple of filler exercises. So they're like pull-ups, and they will build back strength, but they're not quite the full pull-ups. So from here, the first one, you guys have seen this one before if you watch this channel, it's gonna be your Australian row. So I'm gonna grab on the top of the bar, I'm gonna shoot my hips up, make sure my core is nice and tight, really retract my shoulder blades, I'm gonna pull to the bar and come back down. Now when you first start, you might pull up to here, right? And find that you can't quite get past that range of motion. This exercise here is extremely horizontal, right? So you're really, really close to the ground in this. There's a lot of load on your back, but only pulling halfway is still a clue to where you are in your pull-up, right? So maybe you have some amazing activation strength down here. There's just that top gap that you're having issues with, right? So another exercise you can add into your repertoire is the ring row. Okay? Here. This exercise I absolutely love because you can play with the level of it, right? So if I'm up here, this is like mega easy, right? And then as I start to go lower, it gets progressively harder and harder, right? So just like we found out in our Australian row, where that bridging the gap was that we needed to do, now we can play around with it with our ring rows as well too. Okay, so when I first started this video, I was talking about, yes, these are still good for patterning the full range of motion. But when do you use the resistance band? When all your body weight movements are completely tired out. So when your negatives are tired out, in my opinion, that would probably be your hardest movement to start with, because again, you're working through that full range of motion and it requires the most muscles, right? It requires the most scapular stability, the most lat strength, the most arm strength as well too that you're using on the way down. It's just overall hard, right? Then, once that's tired out, and you do a couple of sets of Australian rows, and then maybe you move on to your ring rows, or maybe you superset to both of them depending on your level, that's when we say, okay, now we want to pattern the full range of motion with the band, and that's when I'm going to use it, is after my body weight exercises are tired out, right? Now, let's say it's a different day, okay? So I'm not working on just my strength training for getting my pull-ups. I want to go to the gym and I want to actually work on that full range of motion. You can do just a resistance band workout, right? But you have to make sure that during the week you're doing your full body weight workout. So that means you tire your negatives out, you tire your Australian rows out, you tire your ring rows out. I know some hybrid athletes out there that do single arm dumbbell rows as well too to help along that process and build a little bit of strength, right? And you tire all those movements out, and then you use your resistance band at least a few times a week. If you only ever use this, you will never get your pull-up, unfortunately, or it'll take years and years and years, right? So please take this tip to heart. Don't only use the resistance band, or don't only use the assisted pull-up machine at the gym. I've seen too many people's pull-ups dreams crushed and destroyed, and they never go back to it because of this factor. So make sure you tire yourself out with the bodyweight exercises and then add that after. Awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, the beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. Let's go. All right, guys, like, share, subscribe, especially if you like this content. More coming your way. Very much appreciate it. I'll see you next week. Let's go.